Hey friends, we're gonna get this show started in just a few minutes. Our weekly live stream. Hope you're doing great. Feel free to say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching. I'm getting my comments pulled up here so I can see them. Put them up on the screen. I am streaming to Facebook and to YouTube. I think. Yep, we're live. Ah, here it is. Not on Facebook yet. Now we are. There we are. All right. So we are streaming to Facebook and to YouTube. So just know if you're watching, there are people in other places watching. Well, I'll pull up as many comments as I can so everyone feels like they're connected. But I know, yeah, some people just prefer one platform over the other. No big deal. I get that. I have yet to break into the whole Instagram thing. You know, I have an account, but man, you guys, it terrifies me, that platform. I have no idea how to use it. Anyway, I'm gonna learn soon. This is a thing I'm kind of like, needs to happen. Can't be that hard. All right, here we go. We're getting our comments. Today we're going to be talking about support groups. I know. So last week when I showed up 10 minutes late, we had our biggest audience that we've had in weeks. And of course today I'm early and, you know, we'll see what happens. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hello to Mom. Mom is the first person to say hello today. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go. Guys, I am this close to updating my credits so that it's no longer Baby Talk with Lynn. I think it's going to be Life with Lynn. That is the one that just keeps coming back in my head. Let me know what you think of that, Life with Lynn. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Lynn Clementi Hicks. I have been live streaming for over a year now, taking you through our journey through infertility all the way through pregnancy, miscarriage, and now we are moving on to fostering humans. And we are just like a week and a day from being done with training. Like, it feels like it's going to be 2 full weeks, but really by next Tuesday, that's our final session of the training program. It's crazy how fast that went. So today we're going to talk about something that was a huge theme for what I talked about last year, which was building up our support system. And I've really started to build my support system for being a foster parent. One of my go-tos is Facebook groups. I know Facebook can be, Facebook could be, and, but the one thing that I really love from Facebook is the groups. The groups feature is really nice because you can connect with people around a similar thing, a similar interest, a similar thing that you need support for. My soccer team has a Facebook group. It's very nice. It's got a lot of great features. So if you need support in anything in your life, I highly recommend is, do a search in Facebook groups and find what else is out there. So I found a ton of ones for parents, foster parents, I should say, in the Chicago area, in Illinois, in general. I applied to several of them, at least 5. You don't just automatically get accepted into groups. They usually have you answer 2 or 3 questions. How what do you want to get out of the group? What are you? How are you related to the group? Like, are you a foster parent? Are you a caseworker? What's the reason you're joining? And then they make you type in like a promise that you're going to keep it supportive and not be basically, like making other people feel bad. It is a support group after all. Hello, Marcus, and hello, Sammy. Thanks for saying hi. Mom, thanks for the vote on Life with Lynn. I'm glad you love it. Good, because I love it too. I think that it's all encompassing with what we're doing. And, when we really think about what we're doing here, we are creating life, we are supporting life, and we're being full of life, right? um, oh, Dad, give me a break. It was 1 week that I started late. Jeepers. Holy cow. Always Dad giving me a hard time, guys. We'll dive into that another time. Today, let's focus on the support group. So we talked about how Facebook is a go-to. I joined a bunch of groups. I got accepted into, I think, 2 or 3 of them so far. I'm still pending in some other groups. I get that. I'm a moderator for a few groups myself. It's a lot to keep up with, especially if it's a popular topic. And it's a large group. There's a lot of really fake and spammy shit that you have to sort through as a group organizer. It's super duper annoying. Yeah, I won't get into the details of that, but if you are a Facebook group admin, shout out to you. You know what? You do a lot of work. Whether you're good at it or not, I still appreciate the fact that you're a Facebook group admin. Okay, how else have I been expanding my support? Was purely coincidence. I was going to reach out to a friend of a friend today that we had connected with a couple months back, but she, out of the blue today, texted me to check in. How wonderful is that? I'm not going to use her name. And I'll get to this in a little bit, but she just said, how's it coming along? Do you have a placement yet? And I'm like, well, not quite. I gave her where we're at with things, and told her that that Bert's been holding strong, and I've had a few moments where like, do we really want to do this? This is pretty intense. And she asked a great question, was like, what is it that's, freaking you out? Okay, so other than like the videos sometimes being super intense and us having to really let it soak in that what we are signing up for is for a traumatized child to come be in our home and, work as a team with their biological parents who, are going to be fighting to get their kids back, and reuniting with them. That in itself is like, a tough thing. You're setting yourself up for taking care of someone in a complicated situation. Okay, we let that soak in. All right, we are accepting that is our role, that is our job. We understand it may or may not turn into an adoption someday. We are open-minded to whatever this turns out to be. But back to these Facebook support groups. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. Yeah. Be careful in those support groups because they're there a lot of times for people to vent in an environment where it's contained and it's safe. If I were to just start venting about the foster experience here to you and giving you all the details of what I'm upset about, that's a huge no-no. We're not supposed to talk about those things, to other people. They really say, you're not really supposed to talk about the case even with like friends or whatever, because you never know how it's gonna, get reported or come back to the biological parents or the caseworker or the court or whatever it may be. And I'm navigating all that right now. And I have a huge question about how I'm going to continue to have this live stream and be able to, what I can talk about. But, oh no. Okay, so I was on this Facebook group and like I said, it's there for people to get support. A lot of times you're not seeing people that are sharing their success stories. More often you're seeing people share what's going wrong. What are the complications? How do they fix a sick or injured kid? How do they navigate the court system? And some pretty horrifying stories about things that are going terribly wrong. And I read all of that and thought, well, geez, do I really want to get involved with this? And how often does this stuff happen? It sounds like everybody just has problems, and please, somebody say something that's going right. But I was reminded by my friend that texted today going, yes, be careful about that. The success stories happen all the time, but they're not the ones that are being shared. And I think that that's true in general about the foster program, right? Like, because we're not allowed to talk about a lot of this stuff, is only the bad things are the things that kind of get shared. The problems, the ones that become, those scary cases. So, my fears have been, tamped down. I know that, it's not all going to be bad. It's not all going to be good. And no matter what, Bert and I we're We're going to work together. There was one post that said, what were some things you wish you had known before going into becoming a foster parent? And one of the interesting ones is that a few people actually said or liked or, reiterated was the strain that it puts on a marriage and how tough it can be on relationships. Now, I think all couples probably, well, not all couples, but a lot of couples like me and Bert, like to think we're pretty strong and resilient. But Bert asked me the other day, what did he say? It was about, we were watching a movie, The Eternals, and he's like, would you still stay with me if we were eternal, if we lived forever? And I chuckled, I'm like, at first I'm like, oh God, that's a long time. But then I'm like, wait, yeah, I would stay with you, Bert, the entire time for eternity. I would. I couldn't imagine not doing it with Bert. So that was a nice little thing for me to think about. I'm like, I think that this is pretty solid. I'm not waiting until, I don't know, an opportunity to, I don't know, be somewhere else with someone else. But anyway, I think we're going to be okay. I really do. And I think that I'm doing the homework. Obviously we're doing the lessons and the trainings. That's kind of required. But I think I'm doing the due diligence of really thinking about, like, am I ready for this? Am I cut out for this? I can't answer that question till I try it, but, like, I'm not going into this going, oh, it's going to be great. We'll just see what happens. I'm really thinking about these things. And I'm thankful for you watching and joining me on Mondays to support me and listen and giving me words of encouragement. So if you haven't said hi and if you have your fingers free, do say hi. Let me know you're watching. Don't be bashful. Yeah, be bashful if you want to. I can't tell you how to live your life. But yeah. Hi, Kim. Thanks for saying hi. Yes. Well, it's like product reviews on Amazon. There's so many complaints compared to good comments. Yeah. I don't even trust reviews on Amazon anymore. I don't know if that's a great comparison because I feel like so many times even the good reviews are like fake. I don't know. I don't know what to believe about it anymore. But yeah, but support groups are, and even with IVF, I'm still in IVF groups. I'm still in baby groups and things like that. I just like seeing the continued like process for how people enter the group and where I'm at in my understanding, so that I can, sometimes contribute to what they're asking, and offer answers and my experience. I think that it's a very interesting thing, the life cycle of being in a support group. I have still my support group of the 3 women and plus myself that kind of came out of the one that was guided by our therapist, a therapist who was, was group therapy, all around infertility and specifically IVF. And I'm still in touch regularly, open dialogue as a Facebook Messenger group with those women. And, it's weird because all 3 of them got pregnant. One of them had her baby already. One is I think a few months along, and the other one just found out, like, she's, I think, 6 or 7 weeks. So it's really cool. And I'm like the one person in the group that's like, well, I'm all done trying. I'm going to move on now to fostering. But I'm still part of that group. It's really tough because I made so many connections around infertility and IVF and pregnancy and miscarriage. It's really tough, like, well, is that a closed chapter, or am I still, like, do I still support those people if they reach out? Do I still reach out to them? It's a weird transition, and I can't offer all the right answers, but I can share with you that, don't be afraid to join a support group and have a fear that, someday you may want to leave it. That's just life. That's part of, you join social groups and you leave social groups, and that just happens. Which is a great segue to another thing that came up during our training. Oh my gosh, Dad, it's so funny. I was going to make this comment actually when I started. Yeah, these puppies are getting trimmed tomorrow at 5:00. Don't worry, I have a hair appointment. The bangs are looking really nice, but they're just a bit too long. So it's so funny. I'm sorry that I keep flipping them. Let's go for the curtain bang look today. Here we go. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I think I was about to say, something about, oh, Dad. God, what was it now? I got distracted by my comments. So unprofessional. Okay, we were talking about not giving up on our support groups. Oh, yeah. And one of the things that we learned, I can't remember which unit it was, but it was included in, I think, last week's discussion. One of the things that we have to give up, that that's going to change when we become foster parents, is that some friends may not be your friends anymore. And that was weird because I'm like, all my friends are so supportive. Why would they stop? But life changes, right? When we get into a big change like this. Even when friends have babies, and their new life is all around, taking that routine of taking care of their new baby. They're not going to be available to go out for beers or join a bowling league. Or if someone buys a house somewhere else, a vacation home somewhere else where you're not going to have, as many, game nights as you used to. This is nice. This is life. This is a natural progression. And it shouldn't hold us back from starting new connections, in fear of them. Am I making sense, guys? You here with me? Don't let that hold you back. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be goodbye forever. It could be just like, okay, well, it tapers off a little bit. You don't talk to them as much anymore. Can you tell I'm holding on to this a little bit? I miss talking to some people about like the fertility treatments and checking in on people and being excited with them during their 2-week wait, and encouraging them not to test early, or to share with me when they do test early. It was exciting, those connections. So I think the new excitement's going to be around some of these people we become close with around fostering. How it's going with their placement, or when they get their first placement. I think I want to connect with a few other people that are in the same spot we are around being new to it, because I think that's if you're going through IVF treatments and you're talking to somebody that's already got a 5-year-old kid that went through IVF 5 years ago, it's not going to be the same. So it's helpful, but you want to go through something together with somebody. These are my hot tips for support groups. Thanks, Kim, for hanging in there with me, 100%. So okay, this is an example. I lost a friend when I shared my pregnancy. She and her boyfriend said they don't have anything in common with us anymore. I was shocked. Yeah, it's kind of jarring, right? When someone has that much clarity to just abruptly say it to you and say, I'm sorry, this is the end of our relationship. I'm breaking up with you. It's very unexpected, especially when you thought that they would just continue to be there. It's hurtful. It's like breaking up with someone. But I think that there's two ways, right? They could have let that taper out. You could have kept calling them and being like, hey, you want to come over? And they're like, no. So maybe it kind of hurt in the moment for them to say that, but at least they saved you that kind of like wonder and dragging on and everything. I don't know. It's so tough. It's crazy, isn't it? So I am curious to see what happens, to the relationships Bert and I have. Everybody's been asking us about it so far, as far as the people that we see and talk to on a regular basis. I think probably some of the IVF, people that I talk to, they'll probably not communicate with us as much. But those friends that we've had a long time from other things like soccer, school, drinking buddies and stuff like that, I have a feeling that they'll still be around in some capacity. I really do. But we'll see. And we'll see if they're as direct as my mom's friend was, and just say, hey guys, sorry, we're out. Peace. Good luck. Oh man. I'm curious, anyone watching here have to break up with a friend ever? Did you ever have to tell someone you're done hanging out with them? And if so, tell us a little bit about it. I'm super, my curiosity is piqued right now. I'm trying to think if I ever had to break up with someone as a friend. I don't think I'm very good at it. If I did, I'm probably one of those people that let it drag on and maybe like ghost them or not respond or something like that. So, I don't know. Yeah. I think in my adult years, I've become more direct. You know, the older I get, the more clarity I have on what I want and don't want sometimes, and I'm able to actually speak to it. Or at least tell someone like what I'm, you know, dealing with and just be completely honest about it. Easier said than done. Not always easy to be honest, especially when you're not sure how the other person's going to react. And then you have to deal with that reaction. All the normal things that make life tough. All right, Laura is saying, we are still contemplating IVF, but thinking about doing IUI again for a few more rounds. My friends now are being very supportive, so I hope they stick around. I bet they will. So I think, yeah, we did not lose any of our friends when we started trying to get pregnant. You know, even if they were friends that weren't ever going to have kids, like I had a conversation with a friend actually about this. She's like, yeah, I wasn't sure if we'd still be friends, you know, if you got pregnant and had a kid and stuff, because that's just not our style. And she's one of my closest friends, and it's just funny. She's said some things to me over the years that I'm just like, wow, okay, thank you for saying that. I don't know. You know, she's open and sometimes without a filter, and you just never know. But Laura, I'm glad that you're still going with it. And I turned to Bert yesterday and I said, maybe we should do one more round of IVF. I don't know. I don't know. It's really tough when you see all of your friends having babies and announcements on all the social media and everything. And I know there's still moments where I'm like, maybe we should keep trying really hard. Bert said no. He said the heartbreak is too much, that I put my body and my wellness through too much. So we are not going to be doing IVF again. I thought maybe IUI too, but I don't think so. We're going to focus, guys. Focus on fostering. That's us. But Laura, I am here to continue telling my story, and I hope that it's still inspiring to you. And if it doesn't, and my content is no longer what you want, and you need to move on to someone else that talks about IUI and IVF, I understand, but I hope you stay. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Everyone seems to be having babies right now that are close to us, which is so hard to see. It's so hard. It's so hard. I try so hard. Of course, you know, share an excitement, but then there is a total, like, behind the scenes, like, you know, moment. But then we can have both. We don't have to just be one or the other. We can be excited and also extremely jealous that it's not our turn. Yeah. Oh, Laura, thank you so much. You're awesome. I appreciate it so much. See, guys, this is what it's all about. The support, you know, even if we are not, you know, going through the same thing, we can still be here for each other, which is awesome. Oh, I love that. Felt very full circle right there. That whole thing. It just felt great. Should we just call it a day? I don't know. What else do we need to talk about? So last week we had so Bert and I have been doing, watching the training videos and then doing the discussion the following week. So it's every other week. So last week was week 4, and we had our discussion with a group, and 2 of the people that were on the first call were also on this call. So I was like, hey guys, remember us? And they're like, yes. I was like, maybe they want to be my support buddies, but we didn't get the chance. The end of the call, I was so surprised by it, because I thought they'd be like, okay, does anyone have any questions? But it wasn't. It was like, moderator 1, do you have any last remarks? Moderator 2, do you have any last remarks? They were like asking each other, and then they were just like, nope, no. All right, bye guys. And that was it. That was just like, they were the only ones that got the final kind of word. And I was like, oh, I would have loved to hear a few more things, but that's okay. So what it was a very kind of different flow than the first call discussion that we had. So the first discussion we had, and there's always 2 trainers or moderators, I'm not entirely sure what their title is. There's always someone that is a foster parent and someone else that is a caseworker or works with an agency. So that way they have both, I guess, perspectives from the system. And the first group that we were in, they just told stories. They just kept telling stories from their own experiences that were great. We were like, we're supposed to be talking about the material, but it was relatable to the material. I think what they were trying to do is tell stories that went along with the units we had just learned. The second group, he was like, they were really sticking to the units and what we learned, and they wanted us to type in the chat our answers, and they wanted us to, take turns like responding to the like the unit questions, to make sure that we understood it. There weren't as many stories, which I find super helpful, especially positive ones. So it was a different flow, and so if you're planning on going through the training process, just know, you're going to be mixed and matched with different people that do it different ways, and it's not always going to be the same. I can't tell you exactly what to expect because it's been different both times. I have a question. If you're watching, just curious, would you ever consider fostering? Have you ever considered fostering? Or would you either now, talking about it here with me, or maybe, have you ever thought about it before? I'm just curious, where are you at with fostering? And I kind of expect everybody to be like, nope, it's not for me. But I'm just curious. Maybe I do have a couple people that are watching going, maybe Lynn, keep telling us what's going on. Keep telling us the good stuff, and maybe we'll sign up. This will help me a little bit because I've been thinking about some people who are saying, oh yeah, I got interested in fostering because I heard about it from a friend. And I'm like, maybe I have some influence. Maybe, this is where I start kind of pushing my content, is maybe not to be a recruiter, but to like help explain to people what to expect. Which would be nice. But also, it's also just nice to show up and talk to you guys on a live stream. No. So I think if you are considering going through this, one thing that they said on the training was that it took the pandemic for them to realize that training is way easier if it's self-guided videos and Zoom training calls. Like, it's so much more accessible now to train people to become foster parents. This was all something that had to be done in person before that. So if, training or the process of getting licensed was something that maybe was like an unknown for you, let me tell you that it's gotten a lot easier. And I have felt like this entire process has been fairly, it's long, but it's been fairly easy. Other than like, the constant questioning, like, am I cut out for this? That's normal, I think, though, right? If you're just going into this and like, oh yeah, this is no problem, I'm going to do this, then maybe you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Okay, let me see here. Kim, my sister, I thought about it when I first started teaching, but haven't thought about it seriously. Interesting. I never knew that. Cool, Kim. Amy said, just got to a good point raising 22, and 20-year-olds as a single mom, so no thoughts on fostering right now. Amy, I will say that it sounds like a lot of people who have shared their stories have, like their kids have grown up, and either they take in someone that's related to them, maybe a grandkid or a nephew or a niece, and that's kind of how they get into fostering. But there's also one of the women that was in our discussion group on Tuesday said, her kids are just grown up and she misses having a kid in the house. So you never know. That's not, I don't think that's everyone. My parents are not out there fostering right now. We're all out of the house. I don't think that, well, they have grandkids now, but I don't know. I think when I retire and my kids are out of the house, I think I'm going to be like, all right, peace. I'm going to go around the world now. I'm going to go travel. Laura, I don't think we would. We haven't talked about it a lot, but I feel like it'd be too much for us with stress and hard emotions, if that makes sense. 100%. It is definitely not for everybody. There's going to be strain, like I mentioned, on relationships, not only your marriage, but also possibly with friends or work. It's also financially a strain too. Like, even though they give you a monthly stipend, it's not given to you at the beginning. It is something they reimburse you. And it's not a lot. Like, you're going to be paying, from what I understand, like out of pocket for things, to take care of this kid. There's a lot of things like medical and daycare that's supposed to be covered by the system, but you sometimes have to fight for it. Like, you have to apply and follow up and really ask for it. It's not something that's like, oh, are they going? Okay, here's a check, or, oh, do they have anything, an expense you need us to cover for you? Here's a check. It's not like that, from what I understand. But yeah, no, I totally understand. And I am also fearful about the stress, because sometimes I'm already, you guys have seen me cry, you've seen me happy, you've seen me all over the place. I can only imagine how, having a traumatized kid in the house is going to affect me. It's a very serious thing that I've considered. And I think the one thing I keep coming back to when I've brought that up with a few people, it's like they say, yes, that's to be expected. You're going to get stressed out. Things are not going to go right all the time, but the reward is worth it. And what's the reward? It's seeing that kid develop. It's knowing that you have loved this kid during a really important time in their lives. And that does seem pretty good to me. It does. I love my cats pretty hard. So, if I love my cats that much, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love a human a lot more too. This is an interesting one. We talked about foreign exchange students, but did not pursue it. The closest we came to it was soccer trainers. This is right. And I do remember this. When we were growing up, we had, me and my sister, and I think eventually my brother, were all part of the same soccer. I know I keep twitching my head. Soccer club, where they had a program where they brought trainers over from England, and they would need a host family. And so we were the host family for two of them. One of them was awesome, and I'm still Facebook friends with him now, and he's back in England, has his family and everything. It's a lot of fun. The other one was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one. I don't know. We just didn't connect as much. But that's the other fun thing. Not fun, but when you bring someone into your home, whether it's an exchange student or a trainer or a foster kid, you can't expect attachment. Even if you're like the most lovable person in the entire world and everyone loves you, like me. I'm just kidding. You can't expect attachment. That's a really tough one for me, because I do like to think that I can connect with everybody on some level with enough time. I really do. So I think that rejection is going to be really tough for me if I can't connect with the kids. And I also know it takes time. So I think I'm going to be really determined. And I don't know when I'll give up, if I ever will. So maybe that's why I am cut out for the job, is I'm determined to have connection. We shall see. Thank you guys for telling me and sharing with me your thoughts on that. It actually helps a lot. I do have a fear, a thought. There's a lot of people that advise you to get, when you become a foster parent, to get a separate phone, like a cell phone that's just for fostering. This is the phone number you'll give to the bio parents, the caseworker, the teachers and everything. Set up a separate email address that is just for fostering. What other things? Basically, they're like, don't ever make it so they can find you. And I don't think that this is every case, but you do have to be careful of, these biological parents. Their child's been, torn from them, and maybe they want to see them all the time, or maybe they just want to come and get them back. So you have to be very careful about sharing your own information. Guys, this is a problem. I share everything. So I do have a concern, and I think I'm going to ask my caseworker and the Facebook support groups and other people for their opinions on this. But maybe I just need to change my name and I can continue doing this. But also, how searchable am I right now with all the content that I put out over the past year? Or, do I just learn what the boundaries are so that I know what I can talk about? It's tricky because, if a bio parent learns that I have this channel and I'm sharing with you my feelings, are they going to interpret that in a way that they're going to spin it and say, oh, she's not strong enough for this, or, oh, she's doing this wrong, or whatever. it does seem like, you just never know who you're working with out there. And I don't know. I'm scared. And I'm like, maybe I need to shut this down once we get into fostering. And I really don't want to do that because I think this is special. I don't know. Not me. I'm not saying I'm special. I just think that talking about this here is unique. Everything we've done over the past year. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. I have to find out. But don't worry, I'm not breaking up with you, okay? Not yet. This week, I think, I don't think Kelly's watching. Kelly's birthday's coming up. My sister's birthday is coming up. Got Easter coming up. Who still celebrates Easter? Questioning everybody out there. Let me know, is Easter still the same as it has been for, like, I don't know, the past 10, 20, 30 years of your life? Or has it changed? Is it still, I don't know, what is Easter to you now? I would love to know, because in my family, I think Easter was an Easter egg hunt. Even because we're so competitive and love games, my parents would still hide plastic eggs around the house, even as we got into like our college years. And we'd all still come and try and find all those eggs. We don't anymore. I'm not saying we should. It was just, we did that for a long time, not even when we were just little kids, But we still get together and we have ham and potatoes, and I don't know, we don't go to church. We're not a very religious family. And I'm just curious what Easter is now. And, if we just did it because it was kind of like one of those like, oh, Easter bunny and eggs kind of holiday, rather than it being a religious holiday. Yeah. Amy's celebrating Easter with the family. Yep. Ooh, Laura, this sounds like fun. We do a glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunt at church, but our family is back in Florida, so that's all we do now. Okay. That's really cool. Glow-in-the-dark? Awesome church. That sounds like fun. Maybe we do need to sign up for a church. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing because I don't know, my sister-in-law and my brother go, and they have nieces that are still, Easter bunny age. My sister and her husband go to church. And so I don't know, that kind of just like, I don't know where I stand. I feel like maybe, I don't have anything special to do on Easter, so I'll just hang out and eat ham, I think. Yeah. So, guys, let's check in with you. How are you doing? What's big in your world? What are you working on? I know some of you guys already shared a little bit. Laura, you shared. Yeah, you guys have been doing a great job today, jumping in. Marcus, are you still awake? I don't know if you're watching. I know that this month, it's April, and if you guys remember last April and last August, they do LIDA live every day in April or August, and that was a big thing I was doing last April, was going live every day in that group. It was not, out here. It contained into this little support group where you had an assignment every day on what to go live and talk about, and your lives are supposed to only be a few minutes long, but that was a program that helped give me confidence to do this, to actually show up and blabber on for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Yeah, so I think I know Marcus, he's so supportive in LIDA, and I'm not doing it this year because I know what a time commitment that is. You have to watch other people's videos, you have to do your own video. So I bet anything Marcus is sleeping because he likes to watch all the videos. He might be doing that now. Oh man, Laura, no way. Dental surgery this Thursday. Never been sedated, so I'm not sure how it'll go. Oh my gosh. Never, ever? That's crazy. I feel like I've been put under, I've passed out so many times in my life, but that doesn't count. But yeah, no, I've been put under I remember, I'll tell a funny story. When I got my wisdom teeth out, my mom might remember this, because she was the one that took me. I think I was still in high school. She took me, and I can't remember how they put you to sleep either with the gas or with an IV. But I used to pass out because like medical things just freaked me out as a child. And I remember, and I was, in the not an orthodontist, but the dental surgeon's office, and they were coming in, they were prepping, and they were like telling me, okay, we're gonna get started soon, and I passed out, completely out, and I come to, and I go, oh, is it over? And they're like, we haven't even started yet. Oh my God. They made me, like, I had to, like, come all the way, like, back to it. And so when I pass out, like, it is, like, complete white. I am sweating. I am, like, clammy. It is gross. I am confused. I often need to use the bathroom right away. I've passed out many times in my life for various reasons, but I remember my mom had to sit there with me, and it set the whole surgery back, like, probably 15 minutes, waiting for me to come back, get my levels back right. They had to give me a little bit of juice or cookie or something like that to get my sugar levels back. But yeah, that was funny. And they finally got to put me under. I'm like, why couldn't you just do it while I was passed out? That's not how it works. But when you do pass out, sometimes it's very confusing because you don't know how long you've been out. Well, that's always been my case, but I've been told usually it's only for 30 seconds. It feels like hours. Kim, this is an awesome update. It's my school's first year of having a bowling team, and we just had the sectional tournament. My girls took 4th place and secured a spot in the state tournament this Friday. Kim, that's awesome. Way to go. My sister Kim she went to state herself for bowling in high school. I'm so proud of what she's doing with these kids. I told the story about your bowling tryouts, Kim, to my friends the other day, how you had the first day of tryouts and everyone had so much fun they invited friends to come the second day, and none of them were particularly good, but it's awesome that you're working with them, and I love it. Coaching is fun, isn't it? It's so cool to watch people develop and learn and be able to do something. So way to go, Kim. You're an awesome coach. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, Dad. I'm picturing you kids pushing the grandkids out of the way if we hid eggs now. Maybe. Maybe when they're older, we'd push them out of the way. Maybe. No, they're too little now. You gotta, it's more fun when they can push back a little. All right, guys. Thank you so much for catching up with me and hanging out. I hope today was a nice reminder to, build up your support system around whatever you're going through. It's not always easy to start doing that, but start small. Request to join a few Facebook groups. The more you can talk to some friends about what you're going through, the more likely they're going to be like, oh, I have a friend I can connect you with who's going through it too. So those are my 2 tips of the day about support groups. You guys, next time you see me, these bangs will be trimmed. I will have gone through the last set of videos, units 6 and 7 for foster training, and I will tell you what they're all about next Monday. I hope you have an awesome week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Talk to you later. Bye.